Okay, so I'll start with polygamy. It's the act of being married to multiple partners. Furthermore, polygamy usually takes on the form of polygyny. So,
Yes.
polygyny is when a man marries multiple women. Conversely, polyandry is referring to wives having more than one husband. And that does take place in countries like Nepal, Tibet, India, and Sri Lanka.
Why are you up?
Because I got some important shit going on here. What do you think?
Boom, the world class.
All right. See things a little different. Thanks for rocking with us on this lovely Sunday. Welcome to the world class. I am Noble Miguel Mario Tunica Bay, Morse America Muslim, consecrated and appointed missionary to Morse Science Temple of America. And today we have our lovely co-host. It's her show, Savannah. And we have a lovely special guest, well known around the space, the lovely Natasha Vincent. How are you ladies doing today?
I'm doing well. Nice to see you both.
Everybody's hair is awesome except for mine. So I gotta.
Don't say that.
Oh, you got a haircut.
Yeah, I don't look like breaking people's houses and steal their dishes right now. So I kind of look mildly presentable. I look like they would let me. Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. But let's start this way. First of all, thank you, Natasha, for coming through. Because you definitely respected around the space. If you don't know her, get to know her. She's a model for a lot of channels. She's one of the best models in the world. We had the lovely Gail, we got Jenny Morena, we got Savannah. Savannah's pretty dope as a model. Then we got Natasha, who just brings a level of credibility to channels, and I'm happy to have you. Hammed up, hair is beautiful. I'm team chocolate every day, so I'm just try to from time to time I'm gonna try to grab some of your chocolate and put it on me. We had awesome Savannah. This is her show. I'm just kind of walking it through because people need to know her. Obviously, people need to see her. She has an awesome message, and I got her back. She definitely came through the channel and always helped. I said this in the video that we had a couple weeks ago, right? So, I said, we have women that we ask women to do certain things, right? We ask them. We got hours and hours of talking what we want them to do, and then when we have women, not only have we not protected them, right? We haven't listened to their voice. So you guys have a space here, especially Savannah. You have a space here where all the F crap ain't gonna be here. And you know, again, like I said, you're gonna have a voice, the topics that you want to touch on. You can touch on without the foolery.
Yeah.
So, it'd be wild out there. I've participated in it. I'm not gonna act like I haven't. I've definitely participated in the fuckery. I'm there in the fuckery factory with my hat on and my name tag, going being goofy. Yes, Savannah, you can take over. I'll be here.
Anyway. Okay, so today's topic is something that Noble talks about on his channel quite often, especially in the last couple of weeks. He's been, dropping some gems about, what he thinks about polygamy and monogamy, especially on other panels. So I think it'll be interesting for us to do a deep dive into that topic today. And although we don't have someone that's directly opposing the idea of polygamy, I think we can play devil's advocate today and kind of speak for people who are very pro monogamy.
Definitely. The lovely Natasha Vincent.
Yeah, I definitely take a neutral stance on this particular topic, and I might be a fence sitter for a lot of topics too. I'm just open to the perspectives of others. But when it comes to relationships specifically and relationship dynamics, I mean, that's the business of the couple. So if monogamy works for you, have at it. If polygamy works for you, have at it. I don't know if we're going to be touching on polyamory, right? Like relationships outside of marriages, but that's also prevalent today as well, right? So yeah, I'm not in the habit of being in other people's beds, quote unquote. So yeah, it's their business, but I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Definitely. We, like Savannah said, we're going to be fair. And I'm gonna try the best. I'll try my best to be fair. I'm entirely biased, but we can definitely touch on polyamory because that is, I honestly think that's what is the main relationship that's going on right now. To be honest with you, we're gonna get into what these words mean in a moment. That is kind of why I'm not on the fence, because I know what the words mean, and then I've looked in life, I'm like, yes, what the real meanings are. It's kind of what's really going on, and then there's no honesty from all three that we've mentioned. It's a lot of dishonesty, and I'm with the non-dishonesty. I can't participate in that, and that's why I enjoy the show that Lexie does. And because it's about being honest and being upfront, and I'm always team that. And just like you said, Natasha, if it's relative to what's going on, some people can, I'll speak from the guy's standpoint. A lot of these dudes can't really deal with one chick. I see that for very, very bad reasons, but they're reasons nonetheless. And it's interesting. We got to have these conversations. Because we talk a lot in this space about improving, moving forward, pushing the so-called Black community, and my viewpoint is let's leave no stone unturned. You know what I mean? Let's actually address it and be honest and be willing to have an adult conversation in an adult way. And so let's have it. So, Savannah, before we get into it, what is your viewpoint on, I guess, all three? Let's definitely include polyamory. You can do that last if you want, but I do think polyamory is the main thing we've been doing.
I'm sort of like Natasha. I don't want to force anything on anyone. I think that's actually the worst option out here, to force someone to live a lifestyle that they don't necessarily agree with. But for me personally, I just don't see monogamy as being sustainable. I don't think it's realistic, especially when you look up the actual definition of monogamy. Most of us are not that. So I'm not really too familiar with polyamory. I haven't looked up the definition of that. I've been focusing on polygamy, but I think we should get into the definitions first, and then I will go ahead and give the rest of my take.
Yes, ma'am. Not a problem. Natasha. I mean, you kind of said it, but you.
Yeah, I'm so curious. I would love to, read the definitions that I found, but you're like the word guy. So I want to hear like your like widened perspective on the definitions.
Which
you want for all three, polyamory, polygamy, and monogamy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll start with polygamy. It's the act of being married to multiple partners. Furthermore, polygamy usually takes on the form of polygyny. So polygyny is when a man marries multiple women. Conversely, polyandry is referring to wives having more than one husband. And that does take place in countries like Nepal, Tibet, India, and Sri Lanka. So I don't know if you want to go on on polygamy, or if you want me to continue with monogamy.
Oh, please continue.
Okay, so monogamy, I think traditionally is what most people have come to understand, especially if you are Christian, you practice out of the Torah or the Quran. It refers to a partnership between two individuals, often involving a public expression of commitment. If we're talking about marriage, it's legalized in some form or another, or recognized by the religion. And then for polyandry, because I left it on another document, I'm going to open that one. Let's see how quick I am. That particular description is the act of having or being open to having intimate relationships with more than one person at a time.
Polyamory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which one do you want to go over first, Savannah?
I would say let's tackle monogamy first. Yes. Let's get that out of the way.
Waiting my whole life now. Okay. Before we do that, we definitely got the Jenny Morena. Great day to you all, such beautiful people on a Sunday morning. Definitely. Yeah. I think I'm the ugliest one up here. Definitely. Y'all got me beat because I only have hair. So there's that. That's how that's going to go. So we can bring it up and read it together and look together. Let's put this banner down. We struggle stream our way to the top. That's how we do, right? We wouldn't have it no other way. So, monogamy. I got their little ad in, right? So, monogamy. I always have these arguments. And Sasha, I know you probably seen me or heard me talking about this on a little podcast, but I deal with etymology for a reason. The reason is that I'm well aware of social engineering, so I do what I can to bypass that foolishness and get straight to the point. But as you can see, mono, like how I do things, I call it syntaxing. Like I kind of break the word down first, but we can just read monogamy, noun, from the 1610s. So it's like around the time that they linked this word back where it was consistently used. This word is important that it says practice, right? But we're going to ignore it. Practice of marrying only once in a lifetime, right? From the French, I'm not even about to try because I can't do it. You in Canada, I think y'all better at that than us. The Latin.
La monogamie.
Huh? Say it again.
La monogamie.
Huh. Monogamia is how Latin is. Okay, we're getting somewhere with life. And then the Greek it stands for single marriage, right? Marrying only once. So, monos means single or alone. From the power root men. Not gonna get into that. It says right here, small, isolated. From the gamos, which means marriage, I'm sorry. So it's marrying. That's the thing that I have a big problem with because people don't know what that means. I gotta kind of do it the way I do it. And yeah. So what's marriage? Marriage is this. I'm not typed like y'all. I was in the hood when I was supposed to be learning. Yeah, I was outside the hood. I learned how to type late. So what does marry mean? The verb from the 13th century, Mareen, of parents or superiors. Marriage means to give offspring in marriage. What monogamy means is to marry once in a lifetime. Marry meaning to give offspring in marriage. To enter into conjugal state, to take a husband or a wife. But the emphasis is what? Offspring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if I left out of it by mistake. So if monogamy means to marry once in a lifetime, and marry means to give offspring, what does monogamy actually mean? It means to marry, have a child once in a lifetime. That means two virgins come together and they make one virgin. And then that one virgin got to find somebody else and make another virgin. So every generation, you're cutting your population in half. It's genocide. It's that simple. It's not even complicated. See, we can go look at marriage, right, to be thorough, because marriage is used a lot in this process, but you already know it's going to lead back to marry, and we already know what marry actually means. Action of entering into wedlock. State of condition of being husband and wife, matrimony, wedlock, union. It's the things we know. Nobody want to talk about dowry, right? And yeah, all these Latin words, I don't feel like fooling with it. All that today. To wed, marry, give in marriage, and you say, see, marry. So I didn't just skip it just to be skipping it. It's right here, and it takes us right here, and we're back at this word that nobody wants to address. To give is what it actually means. It doesn't even mean marriage. It means to give offspring in marriage. See my dilemma? See what stresses me out? Shout out to B Rose. We got B Rose in the building. That's what she said. Look, Natasha fan club. We team Natasha Vincent over here.
Hey, Natasha.
All day. What's up, XO Pro? What'd he say? Okay. So, what do you ladies think about that? This is not my website. I didn't make it up. This is the Precious White Man. The oh so beloved white man from around the universe. I didn't make it up. What you think, Natasha?
I think that just you said
go ahead. Yeah,
no,
go ahead, Savannah. This is the Savannah show.
This just goes to show how much we like to twist words around to fit whatever lifestyle we want to live, especially in 2022. So to have this knowledge, I think going forward, we should address ourselves accordingly. If you know you are not a virgin, you did not marry a virgin, and y'all did not create a virgin, stop using the term monogamy, especially if you know you're behind is cheating. On top of that, so that's what I have to say. So that's your comment.
Yeah, like reading the two definitions together is really interesting. So thank you for that, right? Like that's why I always love you being the word guy. Offspring, though, doesn't need to be one, right? Like you can have multiple offspring, and you wouldn't say offsprings plural. Like that's just not how that particular word works. So in terms of chopping the population in half or the descendant line in half, I don't know if that necessarily has to happen, but in contemporary society, there are a lot more married couples who are only choosing to have one child, right? Yeah. Like it's expensive to have more than one kid.
That's what I'm saying.
So I can hear you from that standpoint too.
So we know that we can have modifications. It's always a wiggle room with words, but we look at the thing I love about etymology is that it illustrates intent. For me to go look back in the 1300s and see that this is what this word meant, and now we in 2022 and we have no idea. All the advertisement and marketing and schooling we've had to us not have a clue about it. In the genocidal attempts, it seems to kind of lend to they intended to do it. I give you that you could have more than offspring, could be more than one. However, it does say once in a lifetime. It is a number associated to it. Because gamete is in polygamy. You know, when you have gamete by itself, literally means marriage. Marriage on its own, all of that stands just with gamete. So when you modify it with monogamy, with mono, it could lend to one going, hey man, what you? Because here's the thing. Let's say you get with a person, it's monogamy. We get with a person, you have 2 children, right? One of the spouses die. You literally can't have another spouse. What if you need more children? What if you only got 2 girls, you don't have a son? And you need an heir. What did they do all the way back then? If you in this monogamy, that was only in the 1610s. And I tell us here, all of us that are chocolate that are here, right? This is the 1610s. Christopher Columbus left from Granada or Spain in 1492 to start enslaving us, right? It was kind of going on a little bit before then. So by the 1500s, the transatlantic slave trade was already full go. So if we went through all of this butchering and everything, then somehow we come up with this monogamy stuff when we know most indigenous cultures, like you name polyandry, you name about less than 10 countries. We know most of the world was doing polygamy, or polygyny really, right? So that's why I love Lexie's show, because my position is that monogamy is a kink. It's just a kink. It's a kink type of relationship where the woman is the dominant and the man is. We said that last night because I know you asked. She was like, "What did y'all talk about?" We touched on it. Monogamy. When you're in a monogamous relationship, the man is the submissive, and you watch it every day, all day. You see it all the time. This dude is afraid to make her mad or not do what she wants you to do. And as a man, we keep saying these men need to step up, but they keep having to be in this kink called monogamy, where he has to be submissive to her, and she tell him what he gonna do with his penis. I'm 36. If y'all, all 3 of us had a competition on how many children could we participate in creating, I would beat y'all probably by like 5,000 children, because I can make a mom a day, and y'all can maybe make 3 fathers a year with premature births. You understand? So he's in a situation where this woman says you can't participate in their mortality. It's difficult, and the conversation never comes up. We never talk about immortality no more. It's just, can you be a good nigger and do what this lady that we've empowered told you to do?
That's a hard R.
Which one do you mind, Natasha?
I mean, I didn't watch the show with Lexie in full yet. I think I got through the first 15, 20 minutes. I'll definitely rewatch. I encourage everyone who's watching now, after this, rewatch that one or take a look at that one too. It happened last night. So the gentleman being in a submissive role in monogamy is an interesting take on it. I have heard you mention it as a fetish, which, is kind of funny when you think about it initially, but, maybe. Because when I was doing some of the research for this show, like just generally, what are the stats on polyamory? What are the stats on polygamy? What are the stats on monogamy? There aren't very many stats on monogamy. There are stats on marriage, which I found very interesting. And I mean, I do Google searches all the time. Like, I'm like a search nerd. Google gives me captchas because it thinks I'm a robot when I'm searching, because my searches are so specific, right? So for me not to be able to find evidence-based stats on monogamy and current monogamy, how it's practiced today, I thought it was really curious. I don't know why that is. I'll probably need to delve more, but it's definitely not as, maybe not as common that we think, but it's not as studied or researched. And I wonder why that is. So I still have a lot of questions about that.
Look,
So, yeah,
look at this. This is the other part, right? Marry, right? I mean, is it big enough? Maybe big enough. It says take a husband or wife, right? That's what it says. Take a husband or wife.
Yeah.
Okay. Does it says the state? Is it the church in there? Is it the state involved? It's just a husband and a wife, right? So one would argue you're not in a marriage if the state's involved. People go, I don't know, that's a stretch. Yeah, but when you study law and you see how specific it is, it's very specific. And syntax matters. Like how you put a sentence together in law makes a difference. So marriage, and people don't. I be telling it, like this person commented, she got deleted, but they said, especially when you don't have a job, etymology doesn't pay. Etymology has made me money. My etymology has saved me money because I went into a courtroom and I knew what words meant, and I didn't let the judge, the magistrate, play games with me, and I dog walked his ass, and I got out of the charge because you're not going to manipulate me to get me to plead guilty because I don't know what words mean, right? So if I'm looking at what marry means, and it says to take a husband or a wife, it doesn't. Nothing in this definition says the state, or a country, or a nation, or a kingdom, or a noble, or a sire, or a Dutch. I'm sorry, Duchess. None of this stuff is no medium between the two. So that's a part of like the way we research. We find that things like you just stated are not by accident. It's interesting. So look, I do have a few videos. Kind of what you guys take on. It's only two. One of them is Andrew Tate. And we're going to start with that one. Let me turn this music all the way off. Appreciate everybody that's coming through in the chat. Definitely hit the like button. Hit the subscribe. Let me keep this running at the bottom. Please hit Vanna. That's Van401. Hit her Cash App. Let it so she knows it's real. And support the channel. Support her. You know what I'm saying? All right, here we go. Just want to see you young ladies take on it. With these two old men that's talking with shades on.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Yes.
Are you loyal to your girlfriend?
Yes.
Do you want to be?
Yes.
Why?
Because I like coming home. I see a family. That's the main thing for me. And I feel like the best way to have that family is by being loyal to one person.
Okay. If you could have a woman at home who loved you and adored you and was loyal to you and wanted to have a family with you, but you could also have one other chick on the side without problems, would you do it? If you're honest to your true biological instinct and you forget the societal programming.
No, I get what you mean.
Would you do it? Because I think every single man alive, if they were truly honest to their biological programming, would say, I want more than one female. I may not want the headache. I may not want to lose my current female, but if I could keep my current one and she'd be loyal to me and she understood and we had a family and everything was cool and I had this bitch, then I'd do it. I think every single man who's honest with themselves would do it.
So what's stopping?
What y'all think, Savannah?
Despite my opinion about Andrew, I can't really dispute what he's saying. I think in an ideal world, most men would be living a polyamorous type of lifestyle anyway. So if they had the opportunity, most of them would. So, I mean, I agree with the majority of what he said.
Facts. Natasha?
Yeah, so I heard him say a key term. I think it was biological imperative, right? What then comes to mind for me is, okay, well, what about that gentleman's resources? And by resources, I don't necessarily mean financial. It's also an energy thing, right? So now you're divvying up your resources, which if you're talking about finance, right, using financial principles, you want to diversify, right? Like that's actually a good thing. But then if you don't know how to diversify, it could also be a big problem. So I think a gentleman would be wise to keep that in mind from my perspective, but I'd love to hear what you think about that, Noble.
All right. I'm sorry, I got lost in a train of thought of just all that goodness I just heard.
We didn't do this because we like you. We did this because we are you.
Boom, the world class.